From the very first day you take creatine, something subtle but powerful begins beneath the surface, long before you notice anything in the mirror. It's as if your body flicks on a hidden switch, initiating a biochemical shift that prepares your cells for greater performance. Most people imagine creatine as something that only impacts physical strength, yet the initial changes are far more foundational. These changes build the platform on which all future benefits unfold. As creatine enters your system, your cells begin absorbing it like a resource they've been waiting for. This uptake is not random. Your muscles store the majority of creatine, anticipating higher energy demands. Interestingly, even non-athletes experience this early recalibration, proving that creatine's influence extends beyond bodybuilding culture. Your body responds because creatine is not foreign. It's a molecule your system already knows how to use. During this first 24 hours, your body subtly adjusts water balance inside your muscle cells. This is often misunderstood, but the internal hydration shift is actually a sign that the cell is preparing for energy production. Instead of bloating, it's more like your muscles are adjusting their internal machinery to operate more efficiently. This subtle shift is one of the earliest and most misunderstood reactions your body has to creatine. And here's where curiosity increases. Even though you feel nothing yet, the foundation for energy, strength, and cognitive benefits starts forming silently. This is why scientists often say that creatine works long before you feel it. And yes, later in this video, you'll understand exactly why those initial 24 hours matter more than you think. Inside each muscle cell, tiny structures called mitochondria begin interacting differently once creatine levels rise. Think of mitochondria as miniature engines. They decide how much energy your body can produce at any moment. When creatine becomes more available, these engines operate with greater readiness, allowing them to respond faster to sudden energy demands. It's almost like tuning a car engine. You're not changing the vehicle, but you're making everything run smoother. This internal supercharging happens quietly and consistently. There's no sudden jolt of energy like caffeine provides. Instead, your body becomes more capable in the background. Studies show that this early phase leads to better energy buffering, meaning your cells manage highs and lows of exertion more efficiently. Over time, this efficiency becomes noticeable in real-world performance. You tire more slowly, recover more effectively, and maintain intensity longer. Another fascinating aspect is that creatine acts as a reserve. When your body experiences a sudden need for explosive energy, it taps into this stored creatine first. Without it, you rely solely on slower metabolic pathways that fatigue easily. This is why even short bursts of activity feel different after consistent supplementation. Your cells are no longer guessing, they're prepared. But here's the detail most people never hear. This cellular supercharging doesn't just help athletes. Even daily tasks, carrying groceries, climbing stairs, maintaining posture, become easier over time. Creatine strengthens the fundamental currency of energy, and everyone deals with energy, whether they work out or not. At the center of creatine's magic lies a molecule called ATP. Adenosine triphosphate. You can think of ATP as your body's ultimate energy coin. Every movement, every thought, every heartbeat depends on it. But ATP burns out fast, usually within seconds, which is why your body must constantly replenish it. This is where creatine steps in, transforming a limited energy currency into a more sustainable one.
Creatine helps regenerate ATP at a much faster rate, acting almost like an energy recycling partner. When ATP breaks down, creatine donates a phosphate group, allowing ATP to reform and keep fueling your activity. The beauty is that this process happens instantly and repeatedly, enabling stronger contractions and more powerful movements. It's a system that has been studied for decades, and the evidence remains remarkably consistent. What makes this even more fascinating is that ATP isn't exclusive to physical movement. It also supports brain signaling, memory processing, and overall cellular health. When creatine improves ATP availability, those cognitive functions also benefit. This connection between muscle energy and brain performance surprises many people, yet research consistently shows it's real. As you continue through this video, you'll notice how ATP keeps appearing in different benefits. It's the common thread that ties creatine's physical and mental effects together. Understanding ATP is like holding the key to everything else that creatine will do inside your body. When people imagine creatine's impact on muscles, they often picture instant bulking, but the actual transformation is far more nuanced and scientifically grounded. As creatine accumulates in muscle tissue, the fibers become more hydrated and better fueled. This combination creates an environment where training becomes more productive. But the real transformation is not the water itself, it's what that water allows your muscle cells to do. Better hydrated muscle fibers activate growth pathways more efficiently. This means protein synthesis becomes more responsive, helping muscles recover and strengthen after intense exercise. In other words, creatine lays the groundwork for muscles to adapt more effectively to training stimuli. Even if you're not chasing size, you're enhancing the quality and resilience of your muscle fibers. Over time, consistent creatine use helps increase the ability to generate force. This isn't just about lifting heavier weights, it includes sprinting faster, jumping higher, and performing repeated movements with less fatigue. It's a transformation that happens session after session, gradually building a stronger baseline. And there's a fascinating twist here. Creatine's muscle benefits often become noticeable before visible changes appear. Performance improves first, then aesthetics follow. This is why many athletes feel stronger within weeks, even if the mirror hasn't changed yet. Strength always precedes shape, and creatine accelerates that sequence. Few people realize that your brain uses a tremendous amount of energy, so much that it's one of the most ATP-hungry organs you have. This is exactly why creatine becomes a silent ally for cognitive performance. When creatine levels rise in the brain, neurons gain faster access to fuel, allowing them to fire more efficiently. The effect is subtle at first, but it creates a measurable difference in mental clarity and endurance. Research has shown that creatine supplementation can improve working memory, reaction time, and even resistance to mental fatigue. These benefits appear not only in athletes, but also in individuals who experience sleep deprivation or high cognitive demand. It's almost as if the brain gains an additional buffer that protects it from energy dips throughout the day. Another fascinating detail is that vegetarians and vegans often experience even stronger cognitive improvements with creatine, since their diets typically provide less of it naturally. Their brain stores start lower, so supplementation creates a more noticeable shift. This highlights how creatine isn't just a fitness supplement, it's a molecule deeply connected to brain resilience. Before we continue, let me know in the comments, did you know creatine could enhance mental performance, or did you think it was only for muscles? Your answer helps people realize how influential this molecule truly is. As creatine becomes part of your daily routine, your brain gradually shifts into a more energy-efficient state. Instead of relying heavily on glucose fluctuations, your neurons gain a steadier supply of ATP, allowing mental tasks to feel smoother and more sustainable. This isn't a stimulant-like buzz, it's a subtle enhancement of how your brain naturally functions. Long-term studies show that creatine supports working memory, attention, and resistance to cognitive fatigue, especially during demanding mental tasks. This is because ATP availability influences how quickly neurons can communicate and recover between signals. With creatine, those processes require less effort, leading to clearer thinking throughout the day. Interestingly, these cognitive benefits become more noticeable over several weeks as brain creatine stores gradually reach optimal saturation. People under sleep deprivation or high cognitive stress often see the strongest improvements, highlighting creatine's role not only as a performance enhancer, but also as a protector of mental resilience. Creatine's association with water retention is often misunderstood. Instead of causing bloating under the skin, creatine draws water inside muscle cells, a form of intracellular hydration that supports healthier cellular function.
This internal shift is actually a positive adaptation that prepares the muscles for increased energy demands. This hydration enhances the cell's ability to maintain chemical balance during exercise and supports processes like protein synthesis. When muscle fibers stay properly hydrated, they experience less strain under load and recover more efficiently afterward. It's similar to improving the internal environment of an engine so it runs cooler and more reliably. What surprises many people is that this intracellular water can make muscles appear fuller, not softer. Because the water is stored within the cell rather than outside it, the result is improved function and potentially improved muscle tone. Far from being a drawback, this hydration is one of the earliest indicators that creatine is doing exactly what science says it should. Strength improvements with creatine come from your body's newfound ability to produce quick, high-intensity energy. As ATP regeneration becomes more efficient, your muscles can contract with more force and maintain that force across repeated efforts. This gives you the capacity to lift heavier, sprint faster, and sustain high power output with less fatigue. Before visible changes appear, your nervous system becomes better at recruiting muscle fibers, improving both coordination and peak force. Studies consistently show that people supplementing creatine outperform those taking placebos in maximal strength tasks, sprint intervals, and explosive movements. These advantages emerge gradually, week by week. The most dramatic improvements often occur between the 3rd and 6th week, when both the muscles and the nervous system fully adapt to the increased energy availability. As you train with greater intensity, your body receives stronger growth signals, setting the stage for long-term strength and performance enhancements. Creatine triggers a series of metabolic adaptations that fundamentally reshape how your body handles high-intensity effort. With more efficient ATP recycling, your muscles rely less on energy pathways that produce fatigue-inducing byproducts. This reduces the buildup of acidity inside muscle fibers, allowing you to push through challenging sets with less discomfort. A secondary benefit is improved glycogen preservation. Because phosphocreatine supplies energy more quickly during explosive movements, your body saves glycogen for later stages of activity. This translates to better endurance during intense training sessions and enhances your ability to sustain higher workloads over time. These combined metabolic effects lead to smoother performance, less cellular stress, and faster recovery. Training stops feeling like a battle against fatigue and becomes a more controlled and productive process. This is one of the key reasons creatine has remained the gold standard of performance supplements for decades. Creatine enhances recovery by improving the availability of ATP needed for essential repair processes inside your muscles. After a demanding workout, muscle fibers require significant energy to rebuild proteins, restore membranes, and reduce inflammation. With faster ATP regeneration, these tasks happen more efficiently, shortening the time your body needs to bounce back. It also helps buffer metabolic byproducts that accumulate during intense exercise, such as hydrogen ions and ammonia. These substances contribute to discomfort and slow recovery, but creatine reduces their concentration, helping your muscles return to balance more quickly. This doesn't eliminate soreness entirely, it makes recovery smoother and more consistent. Additionally, creatine supports intracellular hydration, which improves nutrient transport and cellular stability. Well-hydrated muscle cells repair more effectively and maintain better internal structure. Over time, this leads to training sessions that build on each other rather than being limited by lingering fatigue. Creatine is often labeled as a performance supplement, but science has revealed benefits that stretch far beyond athletic circles. Studies have explored its potential role in supporting healthy aging, particularly by preserving muscle mass and functional strength in older adults. Because muscle loss accelerates over time, creatine becomes a powerful ally in maintaining mobility and independence. There's also growing evidence that creatine may support metabolic health. Improved cellular energy availability can enhance glucose handling and reduce fatigue in individuals with demanding daily routines. In some clinical settings, creatine has even been examined for its potential role in supporting neurological conditions, highlighting how deeply it connects with overall cellular vitality. These broader benefits remind us that creatine isn't just for athletes, it's a molecule that supports fundamental biological processes. When your cells have access to more efficient energy recycling, everything from physical performance to daily wellness can improve. It's a small supplement with remarkably wide-reaching implications. Despite decades of research, myths about creatine persist, often overshadowing its well-documented safety and effectiveness. One common misconception is that creatine harms the kidneys, yet studies on healthy individuals consistently show no adverse effects when taken at recommended doses. Much of this fear stems from misunderstanding creatinine levels, which naturally rise due to increased creatine metabolism, not due to kidney damage. Another myth is that creatine causes dehydration or cramping. In reality, research suggests the opposite. Creatine supports better hydration inside muscle cells, which can actually reduce the likelihood of cramps under heavy training. These ideas likely originated from early anecdotal reports rather than controlled scientific observations.
Creatine also does not act like a stimulant, does not cause aggressive behavior, and does not produce rapid muscle gain without training. Its effects are rooted in consistent energy support, not shortcuts. Understanding what creatine doesn't do is key to appreciating the real, science-backed benefits it provides. When creatine becomes a long-term habit, your body adapts in a stable and predictable way. Muscle creatine stores remain elevated, allowing you to consistently perform at higher intensities. This creates a training environment where progress compounds over months and years rather than fluctuating with fatigue or energy limitations. Long-term use also reinforces positive cognitive benefits. With sustained ATP support, the brain maintains more reliable energy availability during mentally demanding tasks. This is especially relevant for individuals who face chronic stress, heavy workloads, or irregular sleep patterns, since those conditions strain neural energy systems. Importantly, research consistently shows that long-term creatine use is safe for healthy individuals. The body regulates saturation naturally, meaning excess creatine simply isn't stored. Over time, the benefits become less about dramatic improvements and more about maintaining peak function, physically and mentally, day after day. Daily creatine offers a combination of benefits that few supplements can match: enhanced strength, improved energy availability, better recovery, and meaningful cognitive support. Its effects build gradually, creating a foundation that supports both physical performance and overall well-being. Whether you're an athlete or simply someone who values long-term health, creatine strengthens fundamental systems your body depends on. The science behind creatine is uniquely robust, with hundreds of studies confirming its safety and effectiveness across multiple populations. Unlike trendy supplements with bold claims and thin evidence, creatine's reputation has endured because the data keeps reinforcing it. It's not a shortcut, it's a tool that optimizes what your body already does naturally. If you're looking for a supplement backed by solid science, proven benefits, and decades of real-world success, creatine stands out as one of the most reliable choices. And if you've reached this point in the video, tell us in the comments, do you take creatine, or are you considering starting after learning how your body responds to it daily? Your experience could help others make an informed decision. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and consider supporting the channel through Super Thanks. Your engagement helps us bring more science-based health content to people who truly want to understand how their bodies work.